Glad to see you on our channel. We hope that this video will be interesting. 10 simple proofs that the Earth is round. People have long known that the Earth is round, and they are finding more and more new ways to show that our world is not flat. And yet, even in 2016, there are quite a lot of people on the planet who are firmly convinced that the Earth is not round. These are scary people. They usually believe in conspiracy theories, and it's hard to argue with them. But they exist. Like that Society of Flat Earth. It becomes funny at the very thought of their possible arguments. But the history of our species was interesting and quirky. Even firmly established truths were refuted. You do not have to resort to complex formulas to dispel the theory of the conspiracy of a flat Earth. 1. Round or flat. It is enough to look around and check 10 times. The Earth is unambiguous, inevitable, completely and absolutely not 100% flat. How did you know that the Earth is round? Our neighbor is not always the same. Today, people already know that the moon is not a piece of cheese or a playful deity, but the phenomena of our satellite are well explained by modern science. But the ancient Greeks had no idea what it was, and in search of an answer they made several insightful observations that allowed people to determine the shape of our planet. Aristotle, who made quite a few observations about the spherical nature of the Earth, noted that during lunar eclipses, when the Earth's orbit places the planet exactly between the Sun and the Moon, creating a shadow, the shadow on the lunar surface is round. This shadow is the Earth, and the shadow cast by it directly indicates the spherical shape of the planet. As the Earth rotates, look for information about the experiment with the Foucault pendulum. If in doubt, the oval shadow that occurs during each lunar eclipse indicates not only that the Earth is round, but also not flat. 2. What does skyline mean? The position of the sun on the horizon, depending on the time of day. If you have recently been to the port or just walking along the beach, peering into the horizon, you might notice a very interesting phenomenon. The approaching ships do not just appear from the horizon, as they should if the world were flat, but rather leave the sea. The reason that ships literally come out of the waves is because our world is not flat, but round. Imagine an ant walking along the surface of an orange. If you look at the orange from a close distance, nose to the fruit, you will see how the body of the ant slowly rises above the horizon due to the curvature of the surface of the orange. If you do this experiment with a long road, the effect will be different. The ant will slowly materialize in the field of view, depending on how sharp your vision is. 3. Observation of the change of constellations. Constellations are subject to change. This observation was first made by Aristotle, who declared the Earth round, observing the change of constellations at the intersection of the equator. Returning from a trip to Egypt, Aristotle noted that, in Egypt and Cyprus there are stars that were not seen in the northern regions. This phenomenon can only be explained by the fact that people look at stars from a round surface. Aristotle continued and stated that the sphere of the Earth was small in size, because otherwise the effect of such an easy change of terrain would not have manifested so soon. 4. The farther you are from the equator, the further that known constellations go to the horizon, giving way to other stars. This would not happen if the world were flat. 5. How a sundial works. Such an experiment proves a lot. If you stick a stick in the ground, it will give a shadow. A shadow moves with the passage of time. On the basis of this principle, ancient people invented a sundial. If the world were flat, 2 sticks in different places would produce the same shadow. But this does not happen. Because the Earth is round, not flat. Eratosthenes 276-194 BC used this principle to calculate the circumference of the Earth with good accuracy. Standing on a flat plateau, you are looking towards the horizon from you. You strain your eyes, then take out your favorite binoculars and look through it as far as your eyes can see, using binocular lenses. Then you climb the nearest tree, the higher the better. The main thing is not to drop the binoculars. And again look, straining your eyes, through binoculars over the horizon. Another piece of evidence that the Earth is round. The higher you climb, the further you will see. Usually we tend to associate this with the obstacles on Earth when there is no forest visible behind the trees and freedom beyond the stone jungle. But if you stand on a perfectly clean plateau, without any obstacles between you and the horizon, you will see much more from above than from the ground. The whole thing is the curvature of the Earth, of course, and this would not have happened had the Earth been flat. In order not to miss anything interesting from the world of high technologies, subscribe to our news channel and Telegram. There you will learn a lot. 6. A plane flight proves that the Earth is round. If you ever flew out of the country, especially to hell, you should have noticed two interesting facts about airplanes and the Earth. Aircraft can fly in a relatively straight line for a very long time and do not fall over the edge of the world. They can also fly around the Earth without stopping. If you look out the window during a transatlantic flight, in most cases you will see the curvature of the Earth on the horizon. The best view of the curvature was on the Concorde, but this plane has long been gone. With the new Virgin Galactic, the horizon should be completely curved. 7. What shape are other planets? Earth is different from others, and this is undeniable. In the end, we have life, and we have not yet found planets with life. However, all the planets have similar characteristics, and it would be logical to assume that if all the planets behave in a certain way or demonstrate specific properties, especially if the planets are separated by distance or formed under various circumstances, then our planet is similar. In other words, if there are so many planets that have formed in different places and in different conditions, but have similar properties, most likely, and our planet will be one. From our observations it became clear that the planets are round, and since we knew how they formed, we know why they have such a shape. There is no reason to think that our planet will not be the same. In 1610, Galileo Galilei observed the rotation of the moons of Jupiter. He described them as small planets revolving around a large planet, and this description, an observation, did not please the Church, as it challenged the geocentric model in which everything revolved around the Earth. This observation also showed that the planets Jupiter, Neptune, and later Venus, are spherical and rotate around the Sun. It will be so incredible to observe a flat planet, ours or any other, that it will turn over almost everything that we know about the formation and behavior of the planets. This will not only change everything that we know about the formation of planets, but also about the formation of stars, since our Sun should behave differently, adapting to the theory of a flat Earth, about the speed and motion of cosmic bodies. In short, we do not just suspect that our Earth is round, we know that. 8. Why there are time zones. It is light on one side and dark on the other. Because the Earth is round. Everything is simple. In Beijing, it's 12 nights, midnight, there is no sun. New York is 12 in the afternoon. The sun is at its zenith, although it is difficult to see under the clouds. In Adelaide, Australia, 1:30 in the morning. The sun will rise very soon. This could only be explained by the fact that the Earth is round and rotates around its own axis. At a certain moment, when the sun shines on one part of the Earth, it is dark at the other end, and vice versa. Time zones appear from here. Another point. If the sun was at spotlight, its light directly fell on a specific area, and the world was flat, we would see the sun, even if it did not shine above us. In about the same way, you can see the light of the spotlight on the stage of the theater, while remaining in the shade yourself. The only way to create two completely separate time zones, one of which will always be in the dark, and the other in the light, is to acquire a spherical world. 9. What is a center of gravity? There is an interesting fact about our mass: it attracts things. The force of gravity, between two objects depends on their mass and on the distance between them. Simply put, gravity will attract toward the center of mass of objects. To find the center of mass, you need to study the object. Imagine a sphere. Due to the shape of the sphere, wherever you stand, there will still be the same amount of sphere under you. Imagine an ant walking along a glass ball. From the ant's point of view, the only sign of movement will be the ant's legs moving. The surface will not change completely. The center of mass of the sphere is located in the center of the sphere, that is, gravity attracts everything on the surface in the direction of the center of the sphere, straight down, regardless of the location of the object. Consider the plane. The center of mass of the plane is in the center, so the force of gravity will attract everything on the surface to the center of the plane. This means that if you are on the edge of the plane, gravity will pull you toward the center, and not down, as we are used to. And even in Australia, apples fall from top to bottom, not side to side. 10. Space images. To understand the shape of the Earth, you just need to fly away from it. Over the past 60 years of space exploration, we launched many satellites, probes, and people into space. Some of them returned, some continue to remain in orbit and transmit beautiful images to Earth. And in all the photographs, the Earth, attention, is round. If your child asks how we know the Earth is round, take the trouble to explain. And what kind of evidence do you know that the Earth is round? Write in the comments below the video. If you liked the video or it was just interesting, like and subscribe to the channel.